I think in our African community, it's wrong for any woman, for me, when something you cited, domestic violence, I wouldn't support any person staying in a marriage and they're being abused. So even if you get married to the first person, the person's abusive, and the next person's abusive, I wouldn't advise the woman to stay in that marriage. So if someone looking at the woman probably from the outside would probably be very judgmental of her because they might not know what her story is. But if I go to data, for a woman who has been married before or married twice and got married to the third person and is being abused, would you, because you don't want, you have such high expectation of marriage and you know it's a contract that you need to keep, would you stay in those marriage, or what would you advise someone who is going through that sort of situation to do?
So it's not a matter of advice in a case like this. It's a choice of the person in this problem. There is no advice anyone can give you from the outside that will be adequate for you who is going through this thing. An African proverb that says the person wearing the shoe that knows where it's pinching them, right?
Oh, it hurts, yeah.
So you know the reasons why you're in that marriage. You know what has gone on in that marriage. You know what you want to do, basically. Basically, everybody who seeks advice already know somewhere in them what it is they want to do. So it's more of like a guidance to bring to light that thing that is inside, because sometimes we know something inside, but we haven't put it in black and white. We haven't put pen to paper yet. And sometimes people go into a relationship, one person may be scarred from something, one person, may be living out something that's happened to them in the past, and they come and they form a relationship, and the relationship becomes distorted. A very common one would be a person who maybe had a bad relationship with their mother, because the mother and child relationship is the first relationship every human being has. So like a child who was separated from the mom and did not have that contact with their mom, so they don't have that foundation of a good relationship. And they grow up and, they get into a, marriage of their own, and they don't know how to build that relationship with their spouse because the background is faulty. So it could be anything. It's not a place for anybody to give advice. It's how to guide, to make sure that this person can make a decision for themselves.
Okay, thank you very much, Data. Leanne, I'm going to go to you. Do you think that people now trivialize marriage and not take it as sacred as they should?
Trivializing, I think not everybody, but a larger majority than before do maybe see it as something they can go in and out of without any problems or any qualms. And to some extent, that's fine, because as Cordelia said, you don't go into a marriage thinking that you're going to get divorced, but things happen and, but I think maybe the working on it part may be something that they may have an issue with, that they may not understand, or maybe they do and they just really can't do it anymore.
So I was researching and the country in Africa, Niger, where they've now legalized for women who are forced to get married. I think there was an article of a lady that got married at 14, and she was fed up and obviously she wanted out. But I think the law has now changed that women who are forced to get married can divorce their husband. I don't think this was something that was previously allowed. What do you think about that?
I think that's definitely a step in the right direction. I think that, doing that is all well and good, but they should also ban those marriages where they are forcing the girls to get married in the first place, so they don't have to grow up and then want out of a marriage to get, divorced. So yes, fine, it's a good step, but, nip it, cut it off at the stem or at the root,
I feel uncomfortable because we're all Africans and we all grew up in a certain way to have marriage sacred, but then there are issues that you can't really, for example, if someone came to me as a friend and said, I'm being abused by my husband, I wouldn't stand for it. Like if a man is hitting you or you've been abused physically, mentally, financially, I wouldn't, I think it's best for the woman, especially physically, to leave.
But I think it's not majorly on the obvious reasons that we were trying to hit on tonight or today, which are reasons like abuse. Those are like major reasons. Like almost everybody will cry out, like, please stay alive rather than die. You know, it's the parts where it sounds trivial. You know, that's the part that's making me wonder that,
But
okay,
the thing is, something trivial to you might be something very important to me.
Exactly.
Something trivial, something that you might take as something very trivial,
Fair
but
enough.
it's something that is a make or break for me. So
Fair
I think
enough.
women are growing up
Fair
with
enough. Fair enough.
strong will.
You want to be independent. You want to be, you know, your own person, your own boss, own your life and everything. At the same time, you want a companion. Relationships have to deal with balance. You can't want all these things and want a man. Men are naturally made a certain way. Women are naturally made a certain way. It's not about race, background, age, or whatever. If you're in a relationship, any relationship at all, even regular friendships amongst peers, there has to be a giving and taking. So a woman, for instance, cannot just want and want and want and want. And because the man, you know, is trying to say, girl, calm down, let's reason together. And he said, no, I'm not having it. You know, that's the kind of thing I'm referring to.
I'm going to ask you, that's the comment you made, that women are wanting. Can women, are you saying women can't have it all?
Baby girl, I don't think women can have it all.
Hey.
I'm sorry to bust your bubble, but you see, how do they?
I disagree with that.
Thing that says,
so do I.
You know, when the desirable is not available, the available becomes desirable. Is that how
that's
we said?
Laurie Sanders, girl. That's Laurie Sanders.
So you see, you can make what you have all you need. I think you can make it, because one human being can possess every single point on your prayer list. I don't think it's.
But there are certain things that are up there, and that.
Oh yes.
And we know God fearing it would be for you, as I know you, is one of the highest on your list. What if you get married to your husband and the next day he changed to say he's a Muslim or stop being God fearing? What would you do?
I can tell you one.
From now on, that's how you're going to a mosque. From now on, no more church.
I know. First of all, I know this question is an extreme question designed for me.
What happened?
Hold on. I know it's an extreme question designed for me only to bring out something from my mouth. That one is established, I know. But the truth of the matter is that if my husband got up and said, okay, I'm no longer God-fearing, I'm now, serving, something else, and I want you to join me. I can tell you that my first instinct will not be to divorce him.
You will seek help, you pray about it. What if the prayer doesn't work? Just because you pray about it doesn't mean the person is going to change. And then what do you do? Because the question is, what do you do if the person, has changed from what used to be top on your list? They're not God-fearing anymore. They don't believe in God. Forget even turning into a Muslim. What if you say, I don't believe in God, I don't want to go to church, and that's that? What would you do? And you will pray, and it would not work. So then what?
Okay, so let's go to church for a second, yeah? So there is a passage of scripture that talks about, when a woman has an unbelieving husband, or the man has a wife that does not believe as well. Either way, and how you should respond. So if this man decides that, okay, he's no longer a Christian like me, but he has no problem with me being a Christian, then I'll keep going to church, I'll keep praying, we'll keep, moving on, and I'll keep praying. And my prayer will work, sister. My prayer will work. Marriage for a Christian is more serious than just fine boy and fine girl coming together let's take selfies. It's more than that. It's a spiritual contract. It's a more serious union. It's the background and foundation for society. It's more serious than, you know, just one problem. No, I want to be happy, so I'm out.
What people should understand and realize is that we all have a choice to make, you know.
Yeah.
And I think it's very important for people to also find somebody that's compatible to them. Don't just marry somebody for the sake of marrying, or because everybody in your church is marrying, or because all your friends are marrying. Take your time. There's somebody for everyone. Once you find a person that you're compatible to or compatible with, I think things like that would help to maybe reduce the rate of divorces that we're seeing, because I think compatibility is a major issue. Nothing is trivial, you know. If it keeps you up at night, you're not happy, like the Kim Kardashian case, you know, the way people are villainizing her. If she hadn't left that man that was treating her badly, she would not have met Kanye West. I'm not saying Kanye West is a god or he's an, you know, I don't know, but she seemed to be happier with him, and they have 4 beautiful kids. So you have a choice as a person, a man or woman. You have a choice to your happiness.
I think just before we go, I think the message I was trying to drive across with my last point was, in every relationship, whether marriage, whether friendship, there has to be a balance. Everyone is giving something and everyone is taking something in a relationship. The moment it's now lopsided,
Absolutely.
the moment it's one-sided, there's bound to be, in the case of marriage now, there's bound to be reason for divorce. And sometimes those reasons can become selfish reasons. So anyone getting into marriage must be ready to have a balanced relationship with their spouse.